Some scholars such as V.A. Smith, Kern, A.B. Keith, Maurice Winternitz and Nalinaksh Dutt feel that this council was either a sectarian affair of the Theravadins or was not held at all. For instance, A.B. Keith is of the opinion that this council did not take place at all. He bases his argument on the premise that the Ashokan edicts, the Tripitak, and the Chinese pilgrims are silent on this issue. V.S. Smith too feels that the account given by the Sri Lankan chronicles is fictitious on account of the fact that it is not mentioned in the Ashokan pillar edicts. This is also put forth as an argument that considering the situations prevailing at the time of King Ashok and his own peculiar position, he could not have lent his support so vehemently to a particular sect. According to Minayev, it may so happen that all the announcements of the king have not yet been found, or the reunion of the monks and the dissension in the Sangh were a common event. The king did not think it necessary to speak about these in the edicts. Nalinaksh Dutt has opined that the traditional account of the council may not be pure history, but the circumstances which led to the council appear to have a historical basis. He has pointed out that the breach between the Theravadins and the Mahasanghikas took place in the Second Buddhist Council, and it grew wider and wider till it became almost impossible for the two sects to live together in the same avas. He further points out that the main business of the council was the refutation of the doctrines of the more important non-Theravada schools from the standpoint of the Theravadins, and that the controversies recorded in the Kathavattu have been corroborated by Vasumitra, Bhavya and others, hence their authenticity cannot be denied. Moreover, he says, the refusal of the orthodox monks to hold uposat with the unorthodox monks appears to be authentic and was very likely the main cause for the session of the council. According to Kern, the third council was not a general council but a party meeting of the Sthavirvadins or Vivajvadins after their separation from the Mahasanghikas. Maurice Winternitz also believes that the council was actually held to uphold the doctrine which was greatly endangered by the mixing up of the heresies. G.C. Pandey has also suggested that Ashoka was not intimately connected with the council, as the Pali tradition would have us believe. Mrs. Rice Davids regards the traditional account of the council as something quite different from what actually may have taken place. She has pointed out that the Pitaka was revised by 8 monks and not by 1,000, and the expulsion of the monks was carried out after the session of the council. Thomas is also inclined to take the account of the council as an invention of the Sri Lankan authors. However, scholars including D.R. Bhandarkar, Grigory Bongard-Levin and Andre Barrow believe that the council was very much a historical event. D.R. Bhandarkar, for example, has pointed out that the Schism Edict of Ashok is a clear pointer to the fact that Ashoka lent his support to the council, and it is expressly clarified in this edict that the heretical monks and nuns shall be excommunicated from the Sangh, which was, according to tradition, the primary raison d'etre of the council. B.M. Barua thinks that the reference to schism in the Pillar Edict of Ashok confirms the historicity of the Third Council mentioned in the Pali tradition. Bongard Levin has pointed out that there is nothing inherently impossible in the events connected to the Third Council. He has also pointed out that the conflicts between Ashoka and members of the non-Buddhist sects were due to a change in his religious policy during the last years of his reign and Ashoka's interference to settle the conflicts and the king's brother appears both in the southern and the northern traditions. Those who speak in favor of the council also point out that Ashok probably did not have any occasion to refer to the council in his edicts. Andre Barrow has pointed out that there is sufficient evidence that the council indeed took place. For example, he points out that Ashoka's three edicts of Sanchi, Sarnath and Kaushambi, situated in distant pilgrimage places, refer to the severe menace of schism to the Sangh, royal intervention, and warning to the schismatics that resulted in a judicial assembly. Thus, according to Barrow, the recitations of the Sinhalese chronicles relate well to a concise historical fact. Though the events of the council have historical basis, but the accounts given in the Sri Lankan chronicles have been much exaggerated. For instance, B.M. Barua has pointed out that the Buddhists, in their eagerness to show Ashoka's adherence to their religion, have indulged in exaggeration, and therefore we should not take them seriously, since they are nothing but the mendacious fictions of unscrupulous monks. One of the history-making decisions taken at this council was the dispatch of missionaries to 9 different regions for the propagation of the Dharma. To the region of Kashmir and Gandhar, that is Kashmir and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Venerable Majantika was sent. The region of Mahishmati, South Karnataka, Mahadev was sent. Vanvas region got Rakhit, and to the region of Aprantak, that is northern Gujarat, Kathiawad, Kutch and Sindh, a Greek monk called Yonak Dham Rakhit was sent. To Maharat, modern Maharashtra, Mahadham Rakhit was sent. To Yonaklok, that is the land of the Ionians, Bactrians and the Greeks, Maharakhit was sent. To Hamvat, the region of the Himalayas, Majjim was sent. Region of Swarnabhumi, Son and Uttar were sent. And to Lankadeep, that is Sri Lanka, Mahind, Ithya, Uthya, Sambal and Badsaha were sent. The Deepvansh also mentions some of these monks making use of different discourses while converting people in the distant lands. By the time of King Ashoka, Buddhism had spread not only within the length and breadth of the Indian subcontinent, but also in parts of Southeast Asia and Sri Lanka. Taking a cue from the missionaries having been dispatched to far-off lands after the conclusion of the Third Buddhist Council, some scholars have hinted that as a consequence, some level of syncretism between Hellenistic thought and Buddhism began in the Hellenic lands at that time. For instance, similarities between the therapeutic and early Buddhist monasticism have been indicated. Thus, Therapeutai might have been a Buddhist sect composed of descendants of Ashoka's emissaries. Linguist Jacharya Pithandi suggests that the word Therapeutae is only a Hellenistic corruption of Theravada, the Indian Pali word used for Theravada in Buddhists. Other scholars have suggested that this word came more specifically from Theraputta, the name applied to those of the Theravada school. Either way, the connection is palpable. Thank you so much.